What's up guys, welcome back to Oak Abode. Today I'm a woman on a mission because I am so tired of difficult to peel eggs, and specifically difficult to peel hard-boiled eggs. So today I'm gonna test out a ton of different methods regarding how to make hard-boiled eggs so that they are easy to peel. As most of you guys already know, we raise our own backyard chickens, so we eat a ton of eggs, and it has been egg salad season, so I am just so tired of making batches of 12 to 15 eggs for egg salad, and half the time having them difficult to peel and half the time having them easy to peel. So I'm gonna try out a few different methods. Namely, I'm gonna try out the ice bath method, which is where you boil the eggs and then you put them in an ice bath immediately after boiling them. I'm gonna test different age eggs, so eggs that were laid just today versus eggs that are older, because I've heard that older eggs are easy to peel. And I'm also gonna try what is my kind of secret method, which is just having the eggs be room temperature before they are boiled. That is what I've had the most success with, but it's about a 90% success rate, and I think I might know why it's not 100%. So I'm gonna try and control a few more factors, but today we're just gonna be trying a few of the old wives' tales regarding how to make hard-boiled eggs easy to peel and easy to get the shell off.
Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is get some hot water. There's one here. I'm gonna get a few different pots of water going at once so we can try it a few different ways. Get that one boiling, and I'm gonna get this little one boiling while we're at it too. All right, we're gonna let that heat up for a little bit.
So one of the things I wanted to test was the age of the eggs, so let's head outside and we'll get some super fresh eggs that were laid just today. Hopefully they have something for us.
You guys wanna come with? Are those your chickies for you? How about you, Quickie? Did you give us one this morning? Thank goodness. Oh, yeah. We got a few. They're pretty, huh? Thanks, Pinky. Don't forget to get a drink. It's hot outside.
Okay, so we got three beautiful brown eggs, and I'm gonna keep these separate from the other eggs we have. We have some that have been sitting on the counter for a few days and some that are in the refrigerator.
It doesn't get much fresher than that. So we'll leave those ones right there. And then these are ones that are at least a couple days old, but they've been sitting in room temperature for a while, so those will be our room temperature eggs.
But it's hot out there. Okay, here I have to go with the disclaimers again, because obviously I'm not a food safety expert. It is pretty common knowledge in the backyard chicken realm anyways that you don't need to refrigerate your eggs as long as you haven't washed them yet. And the reason for that is word on the street is that when the chickens lay the eggs, there's a protective layer around the shell called the bloom, and that when you buy eggs from the store, the factory farms have already washed off the eggs and they've washed off the bloom, so they have to be refrigerated because those eggshells can be penetrated by bacteria and bad stuff can grow. So some people say that as long as you haven't washed the eggs yet, they don't need to be refrigerated. I am not a food safety expert, but I can tell you we have been keeping our eggs at room temperature for literally years now and eating them probably 4 to 6 eggs a day per person, and we have never gotten sick from them. So I'm not making any promises, but I will say we don't refrigerate our eggs unless we wash them.
All right, it looks like our water is boiling, so let's put some to the test.
Okay, the first theory that I'm gonna test out is boiling eggs that are room temperature and boiling eggs that have been refrigerated. So these eggs are fresh out of the fridge. Let's see, what colors do we have? Let's choose this bright blue one and the green one. Those will be our refrigerated eggs. And then these two brown ones came from the room temperature bin over there. So brown is gonna be room temperature and blue is going to be refrigerated. Set an alarm for 11 minutes.
11 minutes, starting now.
Ooh, shoot. Okay, one of the eggs that was refrigerated right off the bat, I'll show you, the shell broke.
I lowered them all in pretty gently. So I'm not sure if that has to do with rapid temperature change or not, but if you have boiled refrigerated eggs before, you have probably seen that. But the ones that are room temperature are holding up great. -1 point already for that one.
Okay, while Alexa is counting down, you probably noticed that, whoa! You probably noticed that one of those eggs is floating, namely the one that cracked. A lot of people say that if an egg is floating, it means it's bad. Everything I've heard says that is not necessarily true. However, it does mean that the shell of the egg, the protective layer, has been compromised and that potentially there could be bacteria growing in there. I will say I've eaten a lot of floating eggs myself and never had any issues. But if you prefer to play it safe, I know a lot of people just throw out the eggs that float, but I'm not sure if it's doing that because it just cracked or what. I will say it is harder to control the temperature in the one that we put the refrigerated eggs in, which is probably because there's, you know, rapid changes in the temperature. Okay, so what I made here is I'm going to be laying out the eggs, refrigerated eggs here, room temperature eggs, ice bath, no ice bath, fresh versus old, and then ice bath versus no ice bath at room temperature versus when they're refrigerated. I should probably add that this is in no way meant to be a 100% scientific controlled experiment. I'm just looking for, when you're cooking in the kitchen, you're not controlling all the factors in the kitchen, what's gonna give us the most consistent, easy peel egg. So obviously there are gonna be some factors I can't control in that, but hopefully this helps somewhat. Okay, that refrigerated egg that broke really did not do well. Okay, I am going to get some water boiling again for the next set, and I'm going to show you guys what happened to these so far.
Okay, so these ones are the ones that were room temperature. We're going to leave them right there. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel one while they're still kind of warm, and then I'll wait till they're cooled off till I peel the second one.
All right, this is the one that was refrigerated, and it's not appearing very easy to peel. So if you guys can see, it's kind of crumbling off little by little. There we go. Now it's getting a little bit easier. Not too bad, not too bad. There were a couple spots in the beginning where I nicked the egg, but otherwise could be worse. All right, now I'm gonna try the egg that was room temperature when we boiled it. And I can already feel a difference. It's kind of once you get around that outer layer of skin, but this one is seeming easier to peel than the other one. Not too much easier, but a little bit easier. Got this big chunk of shell that came off. So this is the one that was room temperature. Okay, we are going to let the water boil, and we're gonna let the second eggs of each cool off before we peel, because I'm guessing that has a factor to play too.
Probably easiest if I just show you this way, but this is the one that was refrigerated. We have just a few more crumbly pieces, nothing too crazy. And this is the one that was room temperature. Came off just a little bit easier. Not too much of a difference though.
Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make an ice bath. This is something that I do not do when I am boiling eggs on my own because number one, I'm too lazy, and number two, our water line is still not hooked up to our ice maker, so we don't usually have ice on hand. Yes, it has been for years. No, I don't really care. That being said, I got some ice today just for you guys, so we're gonna set up the water bath and see if there is a difference. Go! That's enough. We're gonna let that sit for a little while and make sure everything's nice and cool. All right, now I'm going to add 4 refrigerated eggs to boil. I'm gonna do 2 with the ice bath and 2 without, and the reason I'm doing refrigerated eggs is just because I think that's what most people, at least in the United States, have on hand at any given moment. But I feel personally that I have better success with the room temperature eggs, but we'll go over that at the end. All right, I'm gonna start running out of having enough to do color coordination, so let's appreciate these pretty colors, and then I'm just gonna mix them up. All right, round 2 going down. All right, so these are all refrigerated eggs. The only difference is I'm gonna do 2 of them in the ice bath, and then 2 of them we will do just the cold water and see if there's a difference. Our second set of eggs is done, so I'm gonna put 2 eggs in the ice bath for maybe like 15 seconds, and I'll just run the other ones under cold water like I normally do. Ouch, hot. Let's do this. Should cool right down. Like last time, what I'm gonna do is peel right away 2 of the eggs and then wait till they're all cooled off to peel the other ones. So first, I'm gonna do the one that was no ice bath. Kind of crumbling away here.
not too bad, crumbly at the beginning, but let's see if the ice bath version was any better. So that was with the ice bath, actually. Okay, I screwed that up. That one was with the ice bath. This one is without. Honestly, I'm just not seeing a whole lot of a difference here. Okay, this might be a little confusing because they're moved to the side, but this one is the one with the ice bath, and then this one is the one without the ice bath. So honestly, to me, they look pretty much the same. They were kind of hard to peel in the beginning, not too bad, but then the bottom came off pretty easy. So far, it looks like the worst one was the refrigerated egg that was just ran under cold water. The room temperature egg, I still think is probably the best, but it's a close race for sure. Let's get some water boiling so that we can do the next set, which is going to be just fresh versus old, both at room temperature. Okay guys, I have my last set of water boiling. I think this is the last one we're gonna test out. Right now we're just gonna test out fresh eggs versus older eggs. And in my experience, the fresher eggs have been more difficult to peel. Could be total coincidence, but usually I find if they're a few days old, it seems easier to peel for some reason. I haven't found much of a difference in eggs that are like 3 days old versus eggs that are like 5 weeks old, which a lot of the eggs you're getting in the store, by the time you get them, they are that old. So that's not a huge difference that I've found. So I'm just gonna grab a couple eggs out of our egg caddy that are probably like 3-ish days old, and then I'm gonna grab a couple eggs that I collected with you guys just a few minutes ago, fresh as they come. They probably haven't been sitting out there for more than an hour or two. So let's give this last one a try. Ooh, let's pick a pretty blue one. Do blue and green. Does that look good? So these will be our old eggs, quote unquote. And then these are our fresh eggs that were laid just today. Alexa, set a timer for 11 minutes.
11 minutes, starting now.
Let me tell you, I am really tired of boiling eggs. Okay, so first we're gonna start with the eggs that were laid just today. Starting with some crumbles. Ooh, okay, so, yep. Actually, I think we may be onto something here. All right, so this one, as you can see, is becoming a peeling nightmare. I'm sure you guys have had this happen before. I'm gonna finish peeling it. I'll show you guys the aftermath. But we do have another one to try, and then we'll compare it with the older ones. Whoa! Taking a lot of the outer layer with it. Yeah, that is not what you want to see. All right, let's try the exact same technique, but with an older egg. So far it's smooth. Coming off in a big chunk right off the bat. Perfect. All right, while my dogs are terrorizing the neighborhood, I just want to show you what just happened. So this is the fresh egg, okay? So you can see that it was a nightmare to peel. And this one is the egg that's probably about 3 days old, anywhere between 2 and 4 days old. And that had a beautiful peel. In fact, it was even better than the ice bath eggs. Seriously, that's beautiful. So as you guys can see, as far as the ones we peeled right after boiling, the only problem that I had was with this fresh egg, and that's not surprising to me because I have heard that fresh eggs don't peel as well as old ones. So I know this is probably gonna tick some people off, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that the ice bath is not necessary. I have not seen any better peeling with the ice bath than just with having room temperature eggs, which is really the technique that I swear by. I swear by room temperature eggs that are just not freshly collected. I do kind of think that where most people run into trouble is when they have really cold eggs and they throw them in the boiling water, and then that rapid temperature change kind of throws everything off, throws the boiling water off. I think a lot of people also do boil their eggs too long. I think I did that for a long time. So I have found that the sweet spot for me is right at 11 minutes, but depending on where you are in the country, in the world, the amount of time can change. The other thing I will note is that certain chickens of ours do not absorb calcium well. They all get plenty of calcium. It's just that certain ones, no matter how much calcium they have, if they have oyster shells or not, their shells are just more brittle than others. Really just think it's a genetic thing. Obviously those ones are a little bit more difficult to peel than some of the other more hard shell eggs. All right, let's go and peel the second eggs from each batch now that everything is cooled off, and we'll see if it's either easier or more difficult to peel them after they've cooled off all the way.
Okay, right off the bat, the refrigerated egg after cooling off all the way was way more difficult to peel than the refrigerated egg that cooled off that we peeled while it was still warm. All right, as I suspected, the room temperature egg, even after cooling off, peeled just fine. Now we're gonna do the one that was in the ice bath and it was refrigerated beforehand. That one peeled off fine. So now we're gonna do the one that was no ice bath and it was also refrigerated beforehand. Whoa, not a good sign. Wow. Ugly, ugly, ugly. Wow, that's bad. All right, I will show you guys the close-up in just a second. We're almost done. So the last two we're gonna do, this is the fresh egg after cooling off. Oh yeah. Fresh egg probs. Wow, not good. Whoa, not good. And the last one is the older egg after cooling off. Beautiful, just beautiful. Cool. All right, let's take a closer look. So the top row is all the eggs after they cooled off. So what was a fail was the refrigerated egg after it cooled off was really, really bad to peel, really crumbly. Obviously this is the one that cracked too, but not a good peeling process. Room temperature egg, like I said, that's kind of our secret, is that room temp, obviously not anymore now that I'm putting it on the internet, but room temperature egg in both cases was just fine. Next comes the one that was cooled off after using an ice bath. So this was using an ice bath and it did peel well. I am starting to think that the ice bath technique helps for people who have to refrigerate their eggs or who don't let them become room temperature before they cook them, because then if you look at the refrigerated egg with no ice bath, that one was a nightmare to peel also. So that's really interesting. The ice bath seems to make it more in line with the room temperature eggs in terms of performance, at least with refrigerated eggs. So finally, we'll just move to the fresh versus the older eggs. In both cases, the fresh eggs that we collected today, these are not what you want to see when you're peeling eggs. So fresh eggs are a no-go in my book, which I kind of knew from before anyways. And then this is obviously the egg that was a few days old that after it cooled off was much prettier. So as you guys can see, almost none of the eggs that I boiled at room temperature had any problem peeling. Really the only one that was room temperature had a problem was this fresh egg that we collected this morning. All the other room temperature eggs are beautiful. So if you're looking for easy peel eggs at home, your best bet really is just to have room temperature eggs if you're lazy like me. But if you can't have room temperature eggs, it looks like that ice bath might be a must, because the ice bath with both cases was easy to peel. However, I still wouldn't recommend doing it with a fresh egg because that just didn't work out well. All right guys, I'm gonna leave it there for today. So today I feel a lot better about my theory that room temperature eggs boil better than the ones that are refrigerated. Really what mattered the most, it seemed, was that the really fresh eggs did not boil well, but as long as they were a few days old and not refrigerated, I didn't have any problems. Really, it's just because I am lazy that I don't want to set up an ice bath every time I want to boil eggs, nor do we always have it available. And the last thing I'm gonna do is go to the store to get ice. Forget that. So what is much easier for me is just to keep those eggs unwashed at room temperature, farm fresh. I know not everybody can have chickens in their backyard, but you can always buy from local chicken tenders, as we call them, or small scale chicken farmers are always what I recommend because they're the ones that don't wash their eggs right away. Obviously, this was just a little experiment. So if you guys could drop a comment below with what methods you use to boil your eggs, or if you've ever had any success with it, or if it's kind of a pain in the butt for you like it is for me, let us know your tricks below. If you guys aren't already following us on Instagram, our Instagram handle is oak_abode. And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, we would love if you would hit that subscribe button so that you can join us again in the future. And as usual, I wrote a whole blog post on this whole thing. So I broke down my room temperature egg boiling technique with the times and the few steps that I do take. That link is right below for you guys on our website. Thanks for hanging out today. I will see you guys next time.